Behind me, you see a modern Craftsman style of home. My question for you is, if you were putting a timber frame patio extension to the back of this home, what would you do to match this modern Craftsman style of home? You can see there's a lot of Frank Lloyd Wright influence, which dovetails perfectly with the modern Craftsman look that's so hot these days. So we're gonna go back, we're gonna break this down and show you what's going on and break down how we achieve the right look and then some of the construction challenges and solutions we came up with, so you will hopefully get more information for whatever project you have in mind. Craftsman style is really misunderstood a lot. Sometimes you'll see a steep roof with a little timber detail and people label it Craftsman. That's not really the case. With Craftsman, you're looking for low-pitched roofs, big overhangs, and kind of a horizontal feel. Even the stone that you see here is horizontal. It starts in the front, and the stone itself is low. It generally doesn't go floor to ceiling unless you're in a fireplace. So you see that in the front, you see it in the inside, and you come out here to the patio, and that carries all the way through. So that's a big plus for continuity and just kind of a wholesome feel, creating this Craftsman modern style. Another that we've referred to is the taper that creates some elegance, but it's not ornate. Craftsman style is not ornate, it's simple elegance. And even the beam detailing on the end it mimics two beams put together with one protruding past the other, just a simple effect that eases the eye and looks good. The paneling is a nice touch here as well. It brings more of an outdoor warm feel to this outdoor living area. You wouldn't see this much wood color inside the home for this Craftsman modern look, but here on the outside patio, it gives just that little bit of extra outdoor warmth. So that's really a good touch.
Hi, my name is Dave Patton, and this is my wife, Holly. We were fortunate. We built this house 17 years ago in 2005. At that time, we really didn't give, unfortunately, enough thought to this area out here. We decided that we wanted to see if we could cover this area. Underneath it, previously, we had stamped concrete patio that was not level with the dining room, living room, and bedroom, which was not a good idea. The patio worked out fine, but without it being covered in the northwest, a lot of sun in the summertime and certainly a lot of precipitation in the wintertime.
We never used it. We never sat out here because in the summer it was too hot and in the winter it rained. So it was a beautiful space, but an unutilized space.
Okay, so from the front, you probably noticed the big overhangs. They're 4-foot overhangs, which is really nice for the Pacific Northwest, and they also fit that modern Craftsman style. So when we started back here, we had overhangs that were about right in here. Went around straight on back and over to the roof. And the original covered patio was this alcove plus whatever the 4-foot overhang was given them. And behind the cameraman, we'll show some more footage to make this clear from the model, is a big patio door, and there's a pretty big load right there. And there was ways we had to put headers above the trusses to spread that load. But the 3 posts were actually a symptom of how to build this effectively without trying to get massive loads on the existing building or in the middle of a beam span.
The idea, having timbers, came from a friend of ours. They had a covered patio, they use it all the time, and they used arrow timbers on their patio. And we liked the way they looked. We thought it would match our home in the Craftsman style. I like simplicity, and they were simple but gorgeous.
One challenge that we faced here was how to do the ceiling. It's pretty obvious from the start we did not want to do a cathedral or a vault, but that we're going to do a flat ceiling. And this alcove originally had a lower a lower ceiling that was raised up. The trusses were framed above and the ceiling down, so we didn't have any structural issues there. And this beam that you see going across here is carrying trusses that run, mono trusses that run this way. And they're just the 2x4 trusses with a carrier hip that goes way out for the overhang there. And the beams you see, they run all the way out, so there's plenty of opportunity to get bearing where they need it for the roof. It just really turned out exactly like it was intended here, playing off the original style with just that touch of warmth and rustic and outdoor.
I think what we ended up with, having the wood ceiling and the beams all exposed, really added to the inside look to the outside. I think that's what the biggest difference in our home is now. Previously, like I said, we looked out at concrete, and now we have a beautiful timber framed patio to look out to.
The architect, his design style was a lot of the Frank Lloyd Wright style, where you bring the living from outside to the inside, and we have a lot of stone on the inside of our house as well. So we were trying to just follow through with that design.
Of course, they got the putting green and the water feature. It's beautiful to hear that, the water just ripple. And the thing that I like a lot is heaters you see above me. Really feels good when you're outside. Even if it's not warming the temperature so much, there's something that eases your mind. If you're starting to get chilly and you just feel a little warmth on your face, maybe on your back, just kind of and you get to enjoy the outdoors that much more.
One of the most difficult things for me was color selection and trying to fit the outside with what we had selected 17 years ago without it not looking dated.
One of the toughest parts was figuring out what we were going to do with the floor. And we had seen a number of the composite floors profiles and looks, styles, how it was laid out. And we finally got it whittled down from about 25 samples to the 2 that we have. And they match well with the rest of the house that was painted previously.
And so say this was your project, I would hope that you would do as good as Dave and Holly did, because whether you like it or not, with your project, you are the visionary. The people you hire, the choices you make from A to Z, that's your baby, right? Dave and Holly did such a good job in describing what they wanted to do. We started with the activity. They wanted more space. The challenge was this roof is bringing it out with these big overhangs, these 4-foot overhangs, picking up the load and making how the framing cost effective, and just how to do that was kind of a challenge. There was a lot going on. And then the other concern we had is how to make it look right from the front of the home, which you probably didn't notice anything amiss. And that was because Dave and Holly made a good choice as far as what type of roof profile to tie things in together with.
First, when we got started in the process, I remember we came out here and cut the concrete out to begin with to put the pads in for the 4 big posts. It was like, okay, we are committed right now. But probably the one day that was most memorable is when the boom truck showed up, and we had all of the beams and the posts were sitting out next to the garage. And they picked them up and lifted them across the house and then dropped them back here in the backyard.
That was very frightening, watching these very heavy beams float over the top of your house.
But it ended up fine. They got them all put up in 2 days, and we moved forward from there.
Well, when we started this project, it was February of 2020 when we put our deposit down. And as you all know, what happened in March of 2020. And we were very, very appreciative to Bert and everybody at Aero Timber Framing for keeping us in the loop.
They did a great job. When we told them it was finally time that our contractor was going to be available, and at that time, as you know, materials were certainly at a premium or non-existent. We called up Aero Timber Frame and told them that we were about ready to get started, and if they could put us in their schedule, we could make it work.
If you were my long-lost brother and sister, and I had to give you just one piece of advice, it would be know thyself and hire right. Because you can't know everything. There's just too many pieces of information that go into all the decisions you're gonna make here. But if you had good advisors, people you hire right for the stone, for the timber, for the roofing, for the general contracting, for the deck, if you get somebody that fits your style of thinking, how you roll, they can be the perfect advisor for you, achieving this modern craftsman look. Smash that like button, subscribe, share this, and together we can move forward on the next one.
So thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We love the outcome. We think it's beautiful and can't wait to utilize it.